Okay, I believe we are live. Welcome to Detroit Book City's Parent Guide to Children's Books Summer 2023 Virtual Author Talk. We are so glad you guys are joining us this evening. As you know, May is Get Caught Reading Month, and we are always excited at Detroit Book City to get to reading, okay? We are so excited to celebrate the 104th Annual Children's Book Week. Started May 1st, goes through May 7th, and we are proud to host this virtual author talk showcasing independent BIPOC authors, which is Black Indigenous People of Color, featured in this year's catalog, which is the Summer 2023 catalog. Now, this is a free electronic flip book that allows you to browse and shop children's books from these featured indie authors. Also, this book is a catalog. It's a catalog for youth, all grade levels, books for all grade levels for young people. For the past 3 years, we have joined everychildareader.net, along with hundreds of educators and librarians and booksellers and parents and caregivers across the country in celebrating Children's Book Week. We welcome your group to participate and engage in your network. We also encourage them to read, talk about books, connect with book creators, and more. I mean, the sky is the limit on how you can be involved in encouraging a lifelong love of reading with your little ones. So today we have 6 authors that we're going to introduce you to. We are so proud of them. Most of them are from the Detroit area. They have books for this group that's talking tonight, I believe age 0, believe it or not, so infant toddler, up to like age of, I want to say 9. So if you are a parent or an educator and you're looking to add new books to your libraries, then this would be a great time for you to listen in and find out how these books can impact your young ones in your program. So we're going to go ahead and get started. It looked like George is here now, so we can start from the beginning. All right, so I'm going to just get my slideshow ready here right quick, and we're going to introduce our authors for the evening. If you have not seen our cover of our book, we'd like to show you that as well. This is the cover, the Parent Guide to Children's Books. Woo-hoo! It's free, it's electronic, it's a flip guide. You can browse it from your phone, your iPad, your tablet, or even your desktop. So, okay, there's so many ways you can look at it. So there's no reason why you can't get through this book and flip through these pages and add these titles to your library or your home library, right? Right. Okay, so let's get George on. Let's see. Our first contestant is little George Latham the fourth. I wish I had some music in the background. Woohoo! This is the kind of energy I have when I see George. Let's add George to the screen.
Hello.
Hi, George.
How are you doing today?
How are you doing today? Do you remember me?
Yes.
Who am I?
Miss Denise.
All right. It's always a pleasure to see you. Aren't you excited about this book journey that you're on today?
Yes.
Everybody, the whole world is excited. You're getting like spread out all over the world, like real quick. Isn't it exciting?
Yes.
I am so glad that you are walking, talking, and living in your purpose right now. I mean, at the age of what? How old are you?
8.
8 years old. That is phenomenal. I mean, like totally phenomenal, right?
Yes.
Remember the trips you came to the schools in our network, and you talked to all the kids and how excited they were to see you, and
yes.
What's the feedback? What did the kids say? Tell the world what the kids said to you when you were at these functions.
It was honestly like
what did the kids say to you? She said, what were they saying to you? Do you remember?
Oh, okay. So I know you're overwhelmed. I can tell you guys what they were saying. They were saying he was just so awesome. They were trying to figure out how can he write a book at age 7. It was just, there was a teacher at one of the schools we went to. I think it was Obama Academy. She grabbed him after he read a book to the audience and grabbed him and had her kids in a circle around George. So George can just have a Q&A with them and talk about his awesome books that we're about to jump right into right now because we have to pay attention to time. So let's move. This is, oh, hold on. I'm still working with this thing here. Add the string. And let's go back one. Not, we're going to go forward. This is you.
Yes.
What happened right here?
This is when I went to go meet the council president, Mary Sheffield, and she gave me this pen that I'm supposed to put on like sweater, like a sweater or a jacket or something like that.
And you got an award, right?
Yeah, it's called the Spirit of Detroit Award.
Wow, that is amazing. I don't even have to ask why you got that award. I know why you got it, because when you walk in the room, you definitely have the spirit of Detroit. That's for sure. Congratulations on that award. Is that your first award?
No, that is not my first award.
Oh, wow. Okay. We'll get into that on another call, right? Today, we are going to show the whole world about you. We want them to know this is George Latham. He was born in Detroit, decided that he wanted to be an author because he loves to read. The young leader wrote his coloring activity books, I Can Be Sports Edition, to encourage his friends and peers that they can be anything they want to be. He also wants to promote literacy in his age group, which is phenomenal. George is an example of his book. He wears many titles as a kid. He's an author. He's a public speaker. He's a basketball player. He's a red belt karate kid. And he's on the chess team. Wow.
Yes, that's true.
I Can Be. Well, I can be too. All right. Tell us about this book, I Can Be. When did you write it?
I wrote it at the age of 6 years old.
Wow. Is that you on the cover?
Yes. I'm standing on my dad's old car.
Oh, got it. Wow. So that's the image you saw for your front cover, and it's very appealing. It definitely catches my eye. So in this book, what are the kids going to get this summer? What are they going to do in this book?
They're going to color, they're going to read, they're going to do activities inside of this book.
Awesome. And I know you got some really great careers listed in this book that the kids are going to be able to look at to kind of get an idea of what they want to be, right?
Yes.
So tell us about 2 or 3 careers that's in that book.
Career, like a career. So
yes.
One of my careers is the poets. That's one of them.
So when they look in your book, they're going to see what? A firefighter? What else they can be? What else they're going to learn about that they can be when they get older?
A police officer, a golf player.
Feel free to flip through the book if you want. You want to bring it in front of you and flip through it right quick? Do you have the book handy? Yeah, look through it right quick and tell us what to expect, what the kids are going to see when they open that book this summer and they color. What kind of career, what kind of jobs are they going to see?
They're going to see these. Oh gosh, I skipped the page. I'm really focused on the camera more than I'm focused on the book.
Okay, there you go.
Hospital.
I'm trying to figure it out too.
What is that? Tell them what they're going to make. What is that?
So that can be a doctor. Doctors take care of people that are sick.
Okay.
I can be a firefighter. Firefighters put out fires and save lives.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's what we want to see. That's what we want the parents to see and the educators to see. When they open the book, they'll see the different careers that the kids can have when they get older, and they get to color it and do an activity, right? On the second page, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the book real quick, and I'm going to show them the other cover. This is your second book that you have written, and it's called I Can Be, the sports edition, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now, what are they going to see in this book?
What they're going to see in this book is basically like an I Can Be, but it's really just sports.
Oh, it's all kind of sports, right?
Yeah, it's more reading, less activities.
Okay, more reading, less activities, and it's given a good description of each of these different sports careers that a person can have.
Yes.
Got it. All right. So we got this book. This is George's first book. This is George's second book, and you published this book when? This came out this year, right?
Yes, this came out this year. On my 8th
Awesome.
birthday. That's when it was published.
Okay, awesome. All right. So is there any advice you want to give people that's watching you today?
What advice I want to give you is to always read 20 minutes a day.
Good tip. Even as an adult, we need to read 20 minutes a day too, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you have coming up this summer? Anything exciting coming up this summer with your books?
I don't think so.
Okay, mom has your schedule. I'm sure your schedule is really full, right?
Yes.
So let's tell the world why they should buy your books. Why should this book be a part of the kids' summer program? What is it going to do for them? It's going to make them excited, right?
Yes. It's going to make them happy. It's going to make them entertained when they're bored.
All right. Great. And I got at the bottom of the screen, you can see it scrolling, everyone. This is George. He's 8 years old, and this is his website where you guys can buy his book. Or, of course, you can open up the electronic copy of the work, Cody's Parents Guide to Children's Books. And I can't say what page it's on, but when you click on his page, you can click and go to his website and purchase all of George's books for your summer camp, your summer school, the daycare, and of course, your home library. Well, George, it was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you for coming on and sharing your books with us. We're excited to have books like yours on the market written by 8-year-olds from the neighborhood. It's very encouraging and it's very enlightening to see you all the time. I just get so excited when I see George. Just so the world know, the last time George was at our store, he did an interview with Fox 2 News, I'm going to say. Was it Fox 2 News, our store?
Yeah. Fox Channel 4, I know. CBS.
All right. Yes. And he was at our store and he did that interview. And when he came that day, he bought Miss Janice some roses. Some flowers. What kind of flowers were those that you bought me?
I honestly don't know. I think they're roses too.
I think they were carnations or something. They were so beautiful. Do you know how long they lasted here? My flowers lasted for 2 weeks. Usually when I get flowers, they last for about 5 days because I don't know how to take care of them very well. But your flowers lasted for 2 weeks. That's to show you how special you are, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you for being a part of our 2023 summer catalog, the Parents Guide to Children's Books. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of sales. We're going to throw it out to the universe. You're going to get a lot of sales off that book through our catalog. And until then, you be safe. You continue to be kind. You continue to thrive in your profession of being little George with the briefcase. And I hope that you get the best exposure. I'm just waiting for you to be on Oprah and the Steve Harvey Show. It's coming soon. Make sure you remember Denise told you that, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, take care and you have a great day, okay?
Okay, you too. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Wow, that was George the Fourth, you guys. As you can see, you can reach you go to his website at georgelathamthefourth.com. George Latham IV.com. You can get his 2 wonderful books for your daycare, your school, or even your home library. There are some excellent books, and it will get kids motivated and excited about what they want to be at age 7 and 8. He's reaching like kindergartners, and it was just so exciting to see him around the kids. All right, let's move along. Our next guest is Florenza Lee. Gonna bring her to the screen. This is the Miss Florenza Lee. Yes. Let me see if I can get to I know she's an award-winning author. I know she has some interactive, engaging books for kids. She's a publisher. She's a narrative coach, a master storyteller, a radio talk host, and a book doula. I think that speaks volumes for Miss Florenza. Let's go to that page so you can see all the stuff I just mentioned to you. I wanted to read it first. I just want to be a little creative. I'm silly. But this is Miss Florenza, And today she is going to share her books with us that's inside and featured inside of our 2023 summer catalog. Let's bring her on. Da-da-da. Add to screen. There you are. Hey, Miss Florenza.
Well, hello from sunny California.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
say that to us. I think you know what the weather is here in Michigan. You're teasing us. Oh, from Florida. What is the weather like down
No,
there?
California,
Oh,
California.
oh,
It is
California.
awesome. Yes, it is
Like
amazing.
80s or 70s or
Yeah, we're
oh,
in San Diego at this very moment. We were on, I think I'm saying this right, Coronado
okay.
Island earlier, which is
Wow.
where I'll be until Sunday. And it's a little cooler there because it's right on the ocean. But
Right.
we're in San Diego at the San Diego Zoo. Um, and I just
Amazing.
stepped out to do this with you guys. So I hope the signal is good
Okay.
because it's
Well,
been
so far
kind
it's
of
good. So we're gonna
breaking up.
let's
Okay.
okay, let's keep moving. So Florenza, we're gonna talk about your books right quick. Let's go to the
Yes.
next slide. Let's open up this one.
Yes.
When Life Gives Us Wind. Tell us about this book.
So this is the second book in my High I Am series, which is the main occupation for the parent is they are in the military. And so this is the second book in that series. Right now we have three that are published from the series.
Okay.
And this is the one that features the Amara.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And what gave you the inspiration to? I know you are a traveling military woman, right?
Yeah, so my husband was in the Army for 31 years,
Okay.
and we lived, around the military for about 42. We just recently returned home to Ohio.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, a big part of our life. Uh-huh.
Right. So did that inspire you just the to write the book about when life gives us a win with the water because you maybe in that kind of environment for a while in your life or
You know what? I think it was sparked, and I know we're just doing a little tidbit today, but for
right.
those that want to follow like how I started writing, unlike some of the other authors that set out to write, I never did. But once I started writing, and my daughters are grown, they're 34 and 36,
Okay.
I thought, I would have wanted them to have books that talk about the military life, about moving away and the joys of being in the military. And
Mhm.
there weren't any when they were younger. So I really think that's what prompted
Okay.
these books. I have almost 30 titles in total, but
Okay.
from the series that deal with the military, really, I think it was because I wished I had had these books for my daughters when they were younger.
I hear that all the time. That inspires a lot of people. I hear that all the time. Not having the books with the African American image, and experience we come a long way. I'll put it like that. We come a long
Yeah.
way. And being Detroit Book City, I know that there's a lot of authors out here now that's got books in our image. So it's a wonderful thing. It's a
hmm
wonderful thing. So this book, When Life Gives Us Wind, what does it talk about? I mean, it's a storybook, a chapter book.
No, so it's a storybook, and it's one of three books that I have that is hand drawn art. And I apologize, I must have gotten near some ants, and they're getting me. So this is the first. This is actually the second that I got. That's original hand drawn art.
Okay.
And the illustrator Latae Harris is a tattoo artist in Maryland. And so this was her first children's book venture with me, and so it's just a great project. And what it does, it celebrates relationships between
Oh,
parents and children, and it also celebrates the relationship between grandchildren and grandparents. That was really the main thing that I wanted in this book was to show my daughters who they didn't grow up around their grandparents because my husband was in the military all of their lives
okay.
as children and young adults. And so this celebrates that relationship as well.
I like that. Relationships over the summer months, right? So that's a really good
Yes.
book. That's a really good summer book. Absolutely. Now I'm going to flip over and show the other book real quick. Let's add this back to stream, and then we're going to show. Let's talk about
Oh,
Adventurous Olivia's Alphabet Quest. Nice cover,
yeah.
by the way.
Yeah. Everyone loves that book. It's very engaging, it's very interactive. The child has to guess something, find something, discover something. They actually get an opportunity to write in this book, and that
Oh,
Olivia was given a homework assignment to complete a list containing 3 words for each letter of the alphabet. And the text gives the child clues
oh,
as to words that they may write in the blank, but also the illustrations do as well. So every page is an I Spy game. And
oh,
so you'll see things that start with that letter of the alphabet. Some are hidden, and
wow.
you've got to look really, really hard, but some of them are pretty easy to spot. And so it's just a way to recognize the items that start with that letter, and
Got it.
also to learn the different sounds that that letter makes, because some letters make a hard sound and some make a soft sound. And so
Uh-huh.
it's just ways as well that the child is able to hear the differences in the sounds for those particular letters of the alphabet.
That is another wonderful summer book.
It
The
is.
clues, the clues. Remember the clues when we were little? We had to go around and find the
Yes.
clues just in the neighborhood to go find something behind a tree. And so that's another phenomenal summer book that you guys have to add to your library. You can get, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, this is author Florenza Lee, if you're just tuning in, and her book. You can find her books at the website listed there, florenza.org. But you can
Yep.
also go through Detroit Book City's Parents Guide to Children's Books, and find her information and a little more detail about her books and get them this summer. You got to add these great titles. These are some unique titles that we have. We have some rare, unique authors tonight. Hidden gems, I call you guys. Hidden gems that people really need to know about. And are you not from Detroit, are you?
No,
No,
but we have family that live there.
that's what I thought.
Um, and we are heading that way soon. I don't know if we'll make it this summer or not, but I do have to make it up that way definitely before the fall. My calendar is quickly filling up. We are,
Wonderful. That's a great thing.
yeah.
So I don't have any more of your titles on here. Yep, that's our next author. So these are great books. Like I said, you have how many books on so far? You have how many books have you published?
I believe I'm at 30 titles
Oh,
now. I also write under a pen name for adult literature, but for my children's books, we're right at about 23 titles, I believe. If you
wow.
go, yeah, and they're available everywhere: Walmart, Target, Books a Million, Barnes and Noble, multiple languages. They're available English, Spanish, Polish, Mandarin, Ukrainian, Russian. We're adding on French and German
Oh,
next. So that's my newest venture, is translating all of the books. Right now we're going for 10 languages. The
okay.
goal is to eventually add on more.
That is just wonderful news. Wow, you're just crossing over all divides, right? This is wonderful. I was going to ask you one more question about the interactive, engaging books. I saw that on your website. Tell us about that
Mhm.
real quick.
So I am an avid reader, and reading was my safety place as a child. I spent countless hours in the library. You know, for a lot of us, our home life was not always the safest place, or sometimes the fun place to be. At times it was a difficult place to be, and the library was always my safe place, and
Gotcha.
I could
I
always
agree.
get lost in a book.
Yeah.
um, and so, because reading was always fun to me as a child,
Uh-huh.
I thought that it was
Mm,
fun for all children. I didn't realize that for some people, reading was difficult or
yeah.
it was a chore. And
Mhm.
so when I started writing, I thought, you know what? There are millions and millions and millions, if not billions, of books in the world. What's going to separate mine? And
Mhm.
so in mine, you have to guess something, find something, discover something.
Mhm.
I leave you clues in the illustrations. And so I want reading to be fun. I want it to be entertaining, but I also want the child to walk away with a beautiful life lesson,
Uh-huh.
one that they'll take with them from childhood through adulthood. And so each of my books give you that.
Best books for young readers. I told you guys
Yes.
these are the best books for young readers for this summer. We have some gems that you guys just do not know about. And guess how you find out about them? Through Detroit Book City. That is
Yes.
wonderful. You have some wonderful books, and you have to visit her website. Check it out at the bottom of the screen, Florenza.org. She has over 25 titles for children. You
Yes.
definitely can, and they're interactive, engaging books. That is wonderful.
Yes.
So as you can see
Thank
on the
you.
screen, now you're a publisher. Do you offer your publishing services to others, or you just publish your own books?
Yes, so we will be opening up to other authors this June.
Okay.
Um, I have officially, it's a soft retirement from my government position so that I can
Okay.
pursue publishing full time. So we're just asking because as soon as I announced it, we were getting calls and emails and everything. So we're asking everyone to just give us till the end of June to be able to respond back. But
Okay.
yes, we will be opening up those services again for other authors.
Well, this is just a wonderful interview. I appreciate you sticking with us and staying a part of our network. As you can see, we've been around for 6, 7 years now. We're
Yes.
hanging in there, trying to keep literacy alive in Detroit and trying to
Well,
connect
you
educators.
guys were one of the first to reach out to me when I started writing.
I
I didn't start writing until 2014, and I kind of took a hiatus for a couple years and came back
right,
in 2017.
2017.
So
So, hey, you're one of the originals.
I am. I
Oh, you
am an
have some.
alum.
Yes, you have some wonderful books. Honestly, some wonderful books. And I hope that all of our listeners, or our viewers, and educators, and librarians, and they all, and parents, especially grandparents, add your books to their libraries, their
Yeah.
home libraries, their school libraries. And like I said, great summer reading. Best books
Great
for young
summer
readers.
reading.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate that warm weather out there in California. Wow, I'm so jealous.
I know. I wish I
I
could
never
take it
use that
back.
word, but if you come here in Michigan, you're gonna use a word you never used before. It's so it feel like it's November outside, and it's May the 3rd. It's
I
horrible.
know. It was snowing in Ohio when we got on the plane.
Oh,
So it
wow.
was, yes. I
All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you being with us tonight. And everyone, real quick, you can get her information at the bottom of the screen. But this is also this is a live on YouTube and on Twitter. So you can
yes.
always go to YouTube and rewatch it to get her information. Thank you, love. Have a great
Thank you guys.
evening. Okay,
Bye. Happy
bye-bye.
reading.
All right, we're back and we're on time. It is 6:30. I think this is the first time I was on schedule. Usually I over talk a little bit. I can't be talkative sometimes, right? But I know when to be quiet. But yes, we're on time. So let's move along to our next wonderful author. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. She's right here in Detroit. You guys may know her. And her name is Naomi, author Naomi Dunsen-White. She's another phenomenal woman. If you don't know her, you better ask somebody. She's a queen. She's so prissy and she's feminine. This is the most feminine woman you will ever meet, which is a great quality that I'm trying to have more of because I know I could be aggressive. So I can learn from my big sister Naomi. Let's bring Naomi to the screen. Hi,
Hey,
Naomi.
Denise. Hey.
How's it
Well,
going?
that was an awesome introduction. Thank you so much.
I have my own unique way of talking about it, people, or introducing people. It's unscripted and it's the truth. Such a wonderful
Well,
person.
it's natural, so I love it. I love it.
It's natural. So let's get into your books. First of all, let's find out who Naomi is. I think I have a little something I included with her. I'm learning the StreamYard thing. I love it, but I'm learning it. Naomi is a children's book author who loves to inspire and uplift children. She uses her experience as an educator, foster care specialist, and mom to write educational children books that focus on diversity, self-discovery, and purpose. Naomi believes all children have a gift within, just waiting to be discovered. It's up to us, the adults in their lives, to help them discover it. The joy of reading is the first step toward discovery. I totally agree. Agree. I know there's so many other things I can say about you. I know you received an award, so you can tell us about the award that you received before I get started on your books.
You mean for the books? The books
Yes.
award? Yeah. So my second book, Why Am I Here? It focuses on purpose, and that, I mean, everybody can really see how important that is, for children. So I've won Several awards for that book. A couple of finalist awards, the Mom's Choice Award. I also won the Purple Dragonfly Award. I think the one that I'm most proud of is the Jerry Pinkney Finalist Award because he was such an amazing illustrator, especially for our children, Black and brown children. So, yeah.
Yes, so wonderful. I am here. Now, is this your first book or the Jabari book is your first book?
No, Jahari the Great is my first, and Why Am I Here is the second.
Okay, so let's go to Jahari the Great. Tell us about Jahari the Great and why it's a summer book that every household needs to have in their home.
This is a good book for children to just read, for enjoyment. I mean, this book, the message here, all books we want to encourage children to read. This one here encourages children to write as well. And it's about a boy and a relationship he has with his teacher, his family, his community. And the teacher teaches the class how to use their imagination to write. And Jahari discovers that that's his gift. That gift I talked about that every child has within, Jahari discovers that writing is his. So it's a story within a story because he shares, he enters a contest and he has to read it in front of the school. So there are many messages, positive messages about the Black family, the relationship with children and their teachers, the relationship with the community. There's a mystery in this story, and Jahari goes to his community. He knows the person down the street who owns the store. He knows his neighbor, he knows the mailman. And it's a nod to the people in the child's life that helps them to discover how great they really are.
Wow, you know what? I'm reminiscing now because your book is nostalgic. It reminds me of the 70s when all those components were in place. It took a village. I know who the mailman was, the corner store, Mr. Bob, the neighbor down the street, Mr. Charles.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly why I wrote that. I wanted those messages. And there's a note to the children in the beginning that says that this book, first of all, it's named after my oldest grandson, who is Jahari. It was dedicated to him. But this book is an adventure before cell phones and laptops and the internet. He uses his brain. He uses his writing and his skills to solve this mystery. You see, he's a superhero in his own story, but he's holding on to a notepad and a pencil. So he's using his smarts to be great.
Right. I totally just love it. Another great summer book. Mysteries. I mean, it's the writing component. Now, is our children able to write inside the book? Is there any space for that? Or
well, all of my books, both of my books currently, and any book I write is always going to have worksheets in the back or discussion questions so that they can, learn new vocabulary, and also it helps with reading comprehension. And I really hope that parents are doing the discussion questions with the children. That's what I really hope.
Absolutely, just to get the full impact of the book. Now, does he have any character friends in that book, or does he just kind of?
He does. He has a little baby brother whose name is Grant, who is the next grandson.
Okay,
he's in there.
I never knew that part. Good.
Yeah, I wrote this story when Jahari was only 10 years old. And since then, other children were added to the family. I've gotten more grandchildren, so I put their names in the book as characters. So
this might be a series then, huh? Because they're going to get a little bit older.
Yeah, there will be another Jahari book coming out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jahari, such a wonderful cover. I love it. Your books are so quality. I always speak so highly of them. Let's go to the next book so we make sure we don't run out of time. Mm-hmm. Why Am I Here? What inspired you to write this one? This is your second book.
Yeah, this is Why Am I Here? A child's book about purpose. And, we always ask children, most grown-ups will ask the child, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they'll say, fireman, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever. And we tell them they can do whatever they want, and we leave it there. But what about what's inside of them, in their heart and their soul? The gifts that are inside that they feel that they are called to, what is it that God put in their hearts to share with the world? So that's a discussion that I wanted to touch on, to have start early with parents and caregivers and teachers because I do believe that every person has a purpose. We all have a purpose. Mine is different than yours. And the road that I travel in life might be different than yours, but this is what I'm destined for. And I just really want children to start thinking about that. So it's a beautiful book. My illustrator is also from Detroit, Megan Rizzo. She illustrated both of my
Beautiful.
books, and they are hand drawn illustrations as well, which makes them very special. So it starts out whimsical. It's a rhyming book, and it starts out fun, where children are using their imagination, and then I start teaching about purpose and diversity. And there's a great message here, in the book, but it's presented in a way that a child can understand.
Got it. This is so wonderful. If you're just tuning in, this is Naomi, author Naomi Dunsen-White, and she is talking to us about her books and why you need to add these books to your
Please
your
do.
library
Please
for
do.
summer reading with your kids. I watched
Yeah.
her, read her books to some kids at Marion Law Academy. Wasn't it the school we were at?
Yes, that was great. Yeah.
And she had the attention span of kids who didn't want to be there at school, but when they came to our function, they all were all in, very attentive to your book, your
Yeah.
message, and
Yeah.
you just got the best out of them at that time. It just made
Thank
them
you.
think. You made them think about how far they can go. They can go
Yeah.
further than where they are now. It was
Yeah.
very
They had some good
encouraging.
answers and
They
good
had some great
questions too.
answers.
Hmm.
Really did. Okay,
Hmm.
and they're both picture books, correct?
Yes, Johari the Great is an early chapter book, so
Okay,
it's illustrated, but this is when children are transitioning from less picture to more words. So you
okay,
see, it's an early chapter book, and there's illustrations, but they're all different sizes. So there's definitely words here for reading,
got it.
and the
Great.
chapters are just 3 to 5 pages. So it's perfect for that age group when they're coming out of picture books and
Okay,
not quite ready for full chapter books.
and
And
so
then
what
why
age
am I
range?
here?
What
Yeah, why
age
am I
range?
here is the award you're probably thinking of is Best of the Best from the Black Caucus of the American Library Association, and they gave it K-4. So it was for 2021. It won Best of the Best. These
That's
illustrations are amazing.
Oh wow, beautiful.
Yes, and
Beautiful.
Megan, she is just such a gifted illustrator. She really knows how to bring out emotion. It's just beautiful, beautiful
Wonderful.
illustrations. And there's a strong message in this book about diversity because, I do want all children to know that they have a place, in this world. And a lot of times we don't have that representation for Black and Brown children like we
Right.
should.
Right. And that's the whole purpose of this catalog this year is to highlight BIPOC authors. So that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Wonderful summer
Absolutely.
books. Wonderful
Thank
summer
you.
books. Just the
Yeah.
message, the
I want to
mystery
show
in
you
one.
this picture, and that'll be my
Yeah, keep
last
showing
one.
us
This
pictures.
yeah, this is my dream. One day it'll be our children,
Yes. That's
leading
what I see
the
too.
yes,
One day it
leading
will
that
be our
fight for
children.
diversity and in inclusion.
Yes,
It's very
absolutely.
important.
Very
Very important.
important, especially during this time. It's always been important, but especially during this time and season, it is so important that we stick together and we have peace
It
among
is
us and that we know that we're all equal. We're
right.
all equal. And the love is the key. And that's what I like about your books. Your books to me
Thank you.
exudes a lot of love,
Thank
love
you.
and relationships and just like you said, purpose. I like that. That's very
Yeah,
important that in the summer months that kids be reminded in their summer
that they have
camp.
a purpose.
Yeah, at summer camp,
Yes.
I don't care if it's a farm camp or if it's a Detroit Pal and they go to what sport camp. I think there should always be time to read. There should be one day out of the week to read something that builds up their self-esteem, keep them motivated,
Yes.
and to remind them that they are somebody. I Can Be with George and your
Right.
book, Johari the Great. Let's put him back on
Mm-hmm.
the screen. Bear with me.
Sure. Sure.
Oh, I left you.
One
There
of
we
the
go.
things I love most, of course, I love writing and going and speaking to children, but I have the privilege,
There we are.
and I do think it's a privilege of being an editor for other authors, so helping
And
them to, Yeah,
I was going
helping
to
them
ask you
to
that.
put their books out there. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I
Absolutely
was going
love
to
it.
ask you that. I didn't get to put your full bio. That's why you guys have to visit Naomi's website, which is naomibooks.com.
Yeah.
Please visit her website to see all of her credentials because I didn't get to mention half of the
Oh,
talent that
that's
she
okay.
has. Because you
That's
do help
okay.
others publish their books, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Yeah. I think it's important. Just like we need to represent our children, our black and brown children, we need to also have our stories told. Our children need to hear us telling our stories and their stories. And in traditional publishing, we don't always get those opportunities, equally. So
Absolutely.
we have to forge our own path, and that's what we have to do.
Absolutely. We have to create our own path. We're all our
That's right.
creators. We just need to tap
That's right.
into it and realize it, right? And,
Right.
and, and keep it moving.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm so proud of you, sister. Thanks so
Thank
much
you,
for
Denise.
being a
I'm
part of our
always
network.
happy.
You,
Always happy to be with Detroit Book City. I love all of our events. We always
I
have a
know.
great time and so
You've been
much
with us for a
support.
while too, haven't you? You've been with us for a while too.
Yes,
Since
yes, and I enjoy
2000,
every single event.
was it
2020,
2019?
2020.
2020. Okay, 2020. Okay, right.
Yep.
Wonderful. I know you
Yeah.
do very well at our book fairs. You're one of the ones that your book is so quality. I mean, it's just the message, the
Thank you.
cover, the illustrations, the content. It's reflecting what we need today in our kids. So we
Thank you.
appreciate you being a Black independent author. And I see you moving and shaking out there in the world. Tell us about the
Yeah.
organization, the library organization, real quick. We can touch base on that. We got about
Yes,
2
it's
minutes.
called Literacy Nation. I am the vice president of Literacy Nation, and what we do is actually, thank you, we actually support independent authors,
Okay.
and we say and their networks, which includes editors, illustrators, book formatters, publishers, and especially the Black booksellers. That's
Okay.
important too. So it's a whole cycle here. We need the books, we
Mhm.
need the marketing, and we need to help the booksellers as well so that we can continue to have our books out there.
Yeah,
So
I
we
think it all
actually
works
have our,
together too. It,
yeah, we
it
can
all,
catalog. We have our own catalog. We are actually listed as a library, so we can actually represent our authors and catalog their books into the WorldCat system, which is what every librarian accesses for books.
wow, that's
Yeah,
powerful. That's
yeah,
why I
it is.
wanted you to mention that because you said something about it's access to all the libraries, right?
Yes, we're
And tell,
making one of our goals is to make that connection between the independent author, the self published author. We've gotten a bad rap because some people have not been excellent.
right.
So everyone just says, oh, self published books are not good. But that's not true.
That's not
So
true.
we make sure that our authors are up to industry standards, professional, excellent books, content, and the quality of the actual book.
Okay.
And we make that connection between the authors and the library because we
Wow.
need each other.
We
We
need
need
each
each
other.
other.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. I appreciate that. So tell them the website they can go to because you guys are looking to increase your membership. What's the website?
Yes, membership is open. It's literacynationinc.org. Literacynationinc.org.
All right. Well, we appreciate you.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
It's
being
always
with us.
wonderful talking to you. Okay, I'll see you
Same
soon.
here. Okay. Talk to you later.
All right, bye.
All right. It is 6:45. We are on track still. We're going to move right into our next author enthusiastically, Miss Denise Turney. Let's keep it moving. Hi, Denise Turney. Oh, can't hear you. Check your audio real quick.
Can you hear me now?
Now I hear you. Yes.
Okay. What a blessing. I've been here since the start, and I'm so glad I joined. I've enjoyed every single guest. It's just been a treat to be on, and what you guys do at Detroit Book City. Oh my goodness. Thank you,
Oh,
thank you,
thank
thank
you.
you. Oh,
Thank you
you
for
guys
the
are
compliment.
amazing.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Well, we
Absolutely.
know you do a whole lot of things too as well. Wow. When I read your biography, I'm like, how does she fit all this in? Let's bring you to the screen right quick so people can see who you are. This is Miss Denise Turney, and she has a lot of books. Wow. Some great books for girls. Well, I say unisex, but the protagonist is the girl, right?
Right.
Most of your smaller books, but we're going to let you talk about that real quick. Let me see if I can find the little details about Denise. Author Denise Turney is the writer of mystery and suspense novels, romance novels, African American fiction, and literary novels. Denise Turney has more than 40 years of writing experience. She is a full-time writer whose works have appeared in popular magazines, diverse newspapers, and women's periodicals such as Essence, Ebony, and a whole bunch of other people that I couldn't add to this small bio. So I'm going to go back to the first books and talk about, well, let me elaborate a little bit. Let's go back and let's elaborate, Denise. Tell us a little bit more about you because I know that you've been featured with several more media outlets. I know you have some adult fiction books as well, but we're going to focus on the kids' books. Tell us how you decided, what made you get into the kids' books? Because it looked like you started off with adult books.
I did. I've listened to the other guests as well. When I came up, there were very few African American children or adult books. The first children's book, I think it was Mildred Taylor, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. That was the first my dad gave me that. There were like none. You couldn't see any. And so now there are so many, and it's just a blessing. You didn't, and after it was, I think Gwendolyn Brooks, James Baldwin. It was just a handful of even adult African American authors when I came up. But I loved to read, and when I was 10, that's when it was revealed to me I was a writer. So I started writing, fiction, plays, poems, songs, and then I started on my first novel when I was 12, and I finished it when I was an adult. I started writing Miss Rosetta. Okay, so I go back. You see,
let's go back to Miss Rosetta. Yep.
There's a movie out by Judy Blume. Is it Dear God or You Hello or Judy Blume? She wrote a children's book, and I used to read Judy Blume's books when I was a kid.
I can totally relate to these names you're talking about because those are the only ones back then. So we're in the same generation. Go ahead.
And there was another character who I just loved reading about when I was a little girl. She was so spunky, and she had pigtails. She had pigtails in her hair. So Rosetta is she's spunky. She's spunky like this other character was that I read when I was a little girl. Rosetta is 10 years old. She is courageous. She's confident. She's creative. She loves sports as well, which you see with the second book with her skateboarding. And her best friend ever is Paulette. Paulette, that's her best friend. Okay. She has an older sister who's getting ready to go to high school. They pick at each other all the time. Her and her older sister constantly. And she's getting ready to be a big time teenager. So they know that's a big deal. And then she has a brother who she gets along with very, very well. But Rosetta she's in school, I would say she's a C student. She's the kind of kid who's a jokester. She's talking to everybody. She's just a fun kid who can get in trouble for having a lot of fun. She's not bad. She's mischievous some as
kind
well.
Remind me of me when I was younger.
But so she has this the teacher's pet. In this book, her and the teacher's pet, you can tell that's her arch nemesis. She is a genius kid, and the teacher really loves her. And Rosetta she's not the kid making the straight A's in school. Her mother is an artist. She's a painter. Her father works at a marketing firm. They live in Cincinnati, Ohio. She's from a very loving family. But Rosetta comes up with this idea. She's trying to do everything that I'll do Jennifer. So the teacher comes up with a suggestion, what you're going to do for the 5th grade talent show. When I was young, we had talent shows. It was like for hours, you just did plays and sing. And so what was she going to do? Rosetta came up with the idea. Now she's like, oh my gosh, now how do I make it happen? So what she has to do is she has to talk to her parents and her grandparents and all the kids to ask them, how was it when you were a kid? What was your dream for our family? Learning about their own family history. The school she goes to is Harriet Tubman School, and it's a diverse school, and they learn all about like people from all over the world, her classmates, Puerto Rico, Africa, different places all over the world. So the talent show, but her arch nemesis, I don't want to get the whole story away. She doesn't want everything to go so swell for Rosetta.
Very relatable book for kids her age. How old is Rosetta?
She's 10. She is in the big time 5th grade. Rosetta. She's in the 5th grade.
I
She's in
remember
the
fifth
best
grade.
grade of all. So yeah,
Yes.
she's in 10 years old in the 5th grade. But her sister again is going to be soon a teenager. So I say it's for kids between 8 and 12 years old.
This is a phenomenal book. I already love Rosetta because I can relate to her. You know,
Yeah, she's
I,
something.
I like how you just gave us the whole big picture in terms of how to determine if this book is a good one for your kid based on all the components around her environment, her siblings. I'm sure it's about relationships as well. It taps into her talent. It challenges her. I absolutely love Rosetta.
Yeah,
Now this is a chapter book, right?
it is. Well, Rosetta, it's not a lot of pictures. There are, and I didn't want color
Okay, let's get
illustrations just to give some of the readers a little. Can you see? That's her
uh-huh.
and her best friend, and this is on the skateboarding one. That's the skateboarding book, and I can tell you, but they do a very good thing in the skateboarding. But I'm trying to find another sketch. Family is very important. Am I doing this right? Family
Yep.
is very important
I love that.
in Rosetta. Very, very important.
I
This
like
this,
that.
this book it focuses. This one focuses more to get ready for the talent show on
Okay.
family. Hmm. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And then your first book, Rosetta. Let's go back to the book real quick. Um, this one was written when, and then when did you do the second one?
This one was written during COVID.
Oh,
This
the
this
first
one
one.
was this one was
Oh,
written during COVID. This one came out, I want to say 2020, 2021. This one came out last year. This Miss Rosetta,
Miss
Big
Rosetta,
Tail,
man, I
Big
love
Tail
her.
Rosetta. She has so much personality. You cannot miss Rosetta.
I,
And so her and her best friend Paulette, they live close to each other, and they they are not supposed to be going to the skateboard park. They're not supposed to, and so they go. And anyway, there's a whole ruckus about that because the weather turned suddenly. Things don't always go as planned. Miss Rosetta is so confident. Come on, Paulette, we going to the skateboard park. And it just downpours rain. And then they see this big
ooh,
dog. Rosetta loves animals, but Paulette is she more scared. She's more scared of things. And so a lot happens at the skateboard park. Anyway, Rosetta ends up breaking her arm. So on their way back from a skateboard park, this girl is so
oh,
courageous
she
and
ended up
spunky.
breaking her
She's
arm.
she's like she's not even acting like she got a broke arm. So she has to go to the hospital, her mom and them. But
Right.
she comes up with an idea that helps runaways and animals.
Oh,
What she does,
she's still in
what
creative mode. She's has a broken arm, but
what she
she's
does
still moving and
skateboarding.
shaking.
She's on the news, everything. Her
Oh,
her
I love
mom and them are
Rosetta.
they're like constantly with Rosetta. What is she up to now? Like what is she
Oh
gonna
my
do next?
God, Rosetta, you remind me so much of me growing up as a kid.
That's her.
That's a
What's she
typical
gonna do
kid
now?
from the 70s. Always had something going on. There was no technology, the relationships in the summertime. That is a wonderful two great books to add to your collection if you're watching. This is author Denise Turney. Her website is listed at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you support her in her books this summer. These are some great books for 8 to 12-year-olds,
Hmm.
depending on their reading level. They're chapter books with a couple of images, but the storyline, the character, and just the setting is so familiar to a lot of our kids in our community. So I highly recommend you guys to check it out. Check out her website, or even open up the flip catalog, the Parent's Guide to Children's Books, and check out her brief information and go to her website and buy her books. This is so wonderful. So I know that you, let me see what else we have on here. You have another book. Oh, tell us about Long Walk Up.
Long Walk Up. That story came to me actually as I was driving when I used to work in Princeton. It is the only book that came to me that way. It just came to me out of the blue. So I was told to write a story about a little girl who had a very challenging beginning. That's something that people would think could never overcome. And that little girl in the front is my sister when she was a little girl. That's my
Gotcha.
sister Adrian. And so I did. And this girl was supposed to have a remarkable, her second half of her life remarkable. So little Mulligan is 6 years old. She's in Africa. And when her family comes into this community, it's flourishing. and then it stops flourishing, and there's drought, and everybody in her family passes. The last person to
Oh,
transition is her mother. She could either stay in the community where she is, or she could leave, and something propels her to move on. And she goes up this long hill, not knowing where she's going. She gets up here away from her community, and she starts to regret it. Like, what have I done? And then she rolls down this hill into a market. She hears all these voices, all these different languages, and someone takes her in who at the time is helping children during the AIDS crisis.
oh,
And then she eventually leaves, and she goes and she grows up. She's very, very bright, and she gets a job working for a president of a country in Africa. Her ending herself, she goes on to become, in a fictional way, Africa's first woman president. But
oh,
this challenge she comes up through is she just the Desta who she stays with, the different people whose paths she crossed. Long walk up is a
long
story.
walk
It's
up.
just never quit, and she's got this inner guidance that just is with her. She is a
Maybe
remarkable.
the ancestors are with her, huh?
And she is really being guided. Yeah, she is a
Well, and so
remarkable.
this book is for what age range?
Oh, this is for, I would say, more a teenager to adults.
12 and
Yeah,
up, then pretty much 12 and up.
yeah, this is more
14 and up.
teenagers. I mean, there's no language in it a kid couldn't read, but it's more, I would say, more for a young adult to a regular adult age. Long
Okay,
walk
because
up.
I wanted to definitely show, those books too, because this catalog, shows books from infant, toddler up to high school. So I want to let the viewers know that we have a couple of titles in here that high schoolers can read as well. Sounds
Okay.
like a very interesting book. Wow.
I think you'll be inspired and
Now,
empowered.
tell me, Rosetta, is that you, by the way? Just tell the truth. Is that you?
No, that's the Rosetta is John, illustrator to Rosetta. I come
But
up with
who
like
is
the
she?
concept.
Who is she reflecting? I know it's from back in
No,
our era,
the illustrator created her. I had not the illustrator.
but who does the character? Whose character is that?
I
Somebody you
couldn't,
made up or somebody
the
that you knew?
illustrator. I just said all the one the little pigtail girl.
Not the illustration, but her character in the book, the content. Her
Oh,
dialogue.
probably a little bit like Pippi Longstocking.
Okay, gotcha. Pippi Longstock. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha. Because you said the person you mentioned the character that
Pippi
you liked back
Longstocking.
in the day, but you didn't say the name. I remember
Yeah, Pippi
picking Pippi
Longstocking. Yeah.
Longstock. Awesome. Three wonderful books. If you visit Denise's website, which is scrolling at the bottom of the page, you'll see the rest of her books. She is a phenomenal woman with a very strong background in writing. You also have a talk show. I'm going to go back to that slide real quick. Not that way. Excuse me. Talk about
Awesome.
off the shelf books.
Yeah, Off the Shelf Books comes on Saturdays.
1 minute left.
Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or New York City time. It's been on the air for about 17 years. I started on Rainbow Soul with Neil Blake on a real radio channel, and he played the smoothest jazz. I went to ask him could I do an interview for my first novel, Portia? And he said, why don't you start your own show? And I said, I can't do that. I'm thinking to myself, but I did. And
Wow.
17 years later, here we are. So yeah, Off the Shelf.
Wonderful. So make sure you guys check out, if you're just tuning in, this is author Denise Turney. Make sure you visit her website at CHISTELL.com or flip through our summer catalog and find her page, and you will have access to all of her information. Thank you so much for appearing on our virtual author talk this evening. It's a pleasure finally to meet you in person online, because we never really spoke like this before. So
you're a blessing. Oh, you're such a
thank
blessing.
you. Thank you for being a part of our network, and we have more to come. So stay tuned. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. All right, let's keep it moving to 701. Our next author, let's see, is Pria D. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She'll let me know when we get her online. So I'm going to bring that to the screen. Miss Pria D, we are about to let you enter. Hello. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yes.
Oh, now I can
Hi,
hear
good
you.
evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
Good. Thank you for being a part of our 2023 Best Books for Youth catalog this summer.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Awesome. So let's find out a little bit about Miss Priya D. She is an Indian American author who lives in Michigan. Priya has written several children's books based on her experiences and observations. She loves animals and children and writes to combine both her passion. When she's not writing, Priya likes to garden, draw, and paint. She loves music and also spends a lot of her time reading. Wow, what a nice life.
Yeah.
So give us some more information. So as we can see, are you a native Detroiter?
Yes, Detroit
Oh,
is home for the last 20 plus years. So, yes, I consider myself definitely Michigander and Detroiter and proud to be one.
wonderful. So what inspired you to write your wonderful books? Let's just jump into these two great books, Molly and the Lost Dance Shoes and Billy Make Cookies. I love the covers. Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, so I started writing because I wanted books that my children could relate to. And growing up, I thought that either the books were having characters which, look different from them. So I wanted characters which all children could relate to. And these two in specific, I thought everybody could relate to just because the stories capture everyday childhood scenarios. Like who doesn't want to go into a kitchen and make a mess, right? I mean, every child likes to do that. I think
Especially the
my
little one.
son used to play with. Yes, when I used to cook when my son was little, he would take pots and pans and start stirring things around. Usually, I was very careful to only give him water, which was an easy cleanup. But sometimes they do get into other things. So definitely,
Right.
these are based on experience. And my daughter, same thing. Always misplaces things, runs around at the last minute trying to find it, or trying not to tell me that she's lost it and trying to find it. So that's what Molly's story is all about. So based on my own experiences with my own children, that's how I came up with the ideas on these.
So how old are these two now today?
So Billy's story came out in 21. Molly's story came out in 22.
Okay. And how old are your kids? How old are they?
My kids are all grown up. So now
They're
I have to
growing
wait
now.
for,
That's
I think.
So you went back in history to write these books. You reflected
Yes.
on your children and said, "Hey, I should put these together." Put children of color. That way, it crosses all genres. It crosses all ethnic groups. I love the covers, especially Molly lost her dance shoes, and I like how you focus a lot of your books on the arts. You know,
Yes.
let's look at the other two books. I did put up two other books. Tell us about these two books. I like the dancing part.
So these two are based on my own culture. So
Okay.
Balu's story was written during the pandemic. And yes, we all went through a horrendous time, as we know, with the lack of vaccines and healthcare and things like that. So I also wanted to show how children in a different country might have a totally different experience than children here. So Balu's story talks about a child in a remote village in India and
Wonderful.
how his parent, his mom, who is his only parent at the time, becomes ill, and then he's left to fend for himself. And he uses really his own ingenuity to go and try to get her help from a doctor and medicines and so on by bartering vegetables. His mom is a person who sells vegetables in a farmer's market type environment every day. So he just tries to take over for her and do what he can to get help. So the story is very close to my heart because I'm sure lots of people in other parts of the world probably experience that every day. And
Mhm.
most of us living here don't see that side of it. But I wanted to showcase how the village that he lives in comes together to help this little boy.
Wow, lots of empathy there. And then I
Mhm.
also see his community. That's a wonderful book for summer reading. Wonderful. And tell us about Daya dances the Didina. Did I pronounce that right?
Okay,
Didina?
it's Dia. Dia is her name, and
Dia.
Dandiya is a very cultural dance in India,
Mhm.
which brings up the whole country almost together during a certain period of the year. It's called The Celebration of Nine Nights.
Okay.
And it's usually focused on women and girls, and different parts of India actually celebrate it differently. During that festival, all the arts are celebrated, among them dance, music, and so on. So this book is focused on showcasing that Dia and her dance group are going to go on stage and start dancing, and all of a sudden she finds that one piece of her costume is missing, and to her that's the most important piece because she wears anklets with bells on them, and the bells tinkle while she dances, and to her it's like the whole performance is going to go awry if she doesn't find the anklet. So as part of the story, I wanted to show Indian food, the
Mhm.
different
Wow.
or different types of dress that adults versus children wear, the different pieces of Dia's own costume. And also, I have a glossary at the end of the book, which
Ah,
introduces some very common terms that people might have come across but may not know what it means, like chai, for example. We probably have seen chai in like a Starbucks or something, but
mhm.
what is
Ah,
actually chai in India? So that's what that book is about. So both of them are meant to showcase a little bit of Indian culture and introduce it to children so they can see how children in other parts of the world live.
oh, I just love them. Great summer books. Great summer books. Just the cultural side of it. Like you said, other, kids seeing the different ethnic groups, people their age, and what they can do at that age because young people are special. They have multiple talents. They're creative, and it takes sometimes adults to, you know, keep them connected to that or get them connected to their gift. These are just wonderful books. I appreciate you showing them and showcasing them inside of our summer guide. So if you're just tuning in, you're meeting author Pria D, and she is um, a Indian American author who lives right here in Michigan, and she's sharing her wonderful books with us tonight. Molly and the Lost Dance Shoes and Billy, those are her two kids who are now grown. Of course, she went back in a nostalgic way. A lot of our books this evening are has some historical aspects to it. That's what I like about it. It makes it kind of old school, and it gives it some substance. So just her finding her lost dance shoes and cooking in the kitchen, little kids, woo, the pots and the pans and the sugar all over the floor. Working. I remember those days because I have two daughters. One's, I'm gonna tell you the ages, they're both grown. They're both grown. And I could probably put some really nice books on the market too, just from some experiences that I had with them. I think that's where most of our books come from, our past experiences.
Right,
Wonderful
exactly.
books, Priya. Wonderful books.
Thank
So,
you.
is there anything do you publish at all, or do you just write your books? What's coming up next?
So actually, my new book just came out, Freddie the Frog. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is my new book, which just came
Oh,
out
Freddie the
end of
Frog. Let's see. Let's
April,
get it close
beginning
up.
of May.
There we go. Freddie the Frog.
And so Freddie's story is very close to my heart because it addresses something which a lot of children go through.
Okay.
Freddie, and it's a chapter book, but it has a lot of color illustrations. I'll open it up
Oh,
here
let's
so you
see.
can see it.
Oh, very
And
cute. Ooh,
yeah, so Freddie is a little guy. He wants to be, strong and be able to do all the things his brothers and sisters do. But
okay.
he's little and he can't swim as fast as them and he can't jump as high as his brothers can. So he feels like he's little left out. And I think a lot of children go through that where they're trying to, they feel like they're left out, they don't fit in. And with May being Mental Health Month, I wanted to say that this is for all those children out there who feel like they're left out. I want them to know they are loved because everybody has a special place in this world. And Freddie finds his because he finds this magical flower, the yellow flower. And the magical flower is supposed to give him 3 wishes. So
Oh,
Freddie just
wonderful.
starts out wishing for what he's always longed for, to be just like every other frog and jumping and leaping into the air and so forth. But then he runs into some trouble, and he ends up to wishing for some whole other things because of the way things turn out, which teaches a very important lesson to children as well, that sometimes, things are not as great when something bigger happens. That, the little things like being able to do the same thing as your brother might be very insignificant when something major happens which affects your whole community or your home. So I
Right.
think that's the takeaway from this book, that Freddie takes away that, okay, instead of wishing for stuff for himself, he should wish for things which might change the way the story unfolds, like without giving too much away.
The
There's like a
outcome. Yes.
yeah, there's
Outcome.
like some, I think most of us can relate to it, but all the excessive rain, I think I must have written this book in May, because all the excessive rain
Right.
almost washes away Freddie's home. So then he decides that
Oh,
maybe he should wish for better things than being able to jump
ah,
higher.
yes. Watch your thought process, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible book. And that book is for what age range? Because I
So
didn't get
it's
to
a
put that on the
chapter
screen.
book. I would
Okay.
say it's for anybody who can read, like a 5 to 10 age
Okay.
group. Like I
Wonderful.
said, it was supposed to come out in the middle of April, which April is supposed to be Frog Month, but then it
Uh-huh.
ended up coming up at the end of April, which coincided with May being the Mental Awareness Month. So it,
Wonderful.
it it goes right into that month, and I think it fits.
I think so too. Wonderful books. Best book for young readers. Detroit Book City
Thank
is
you.
letting you guys know the best books for young readers this summer is inside our catalog. Make sure that you go to our website, or you can go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. There are links to open up that catalog and take a really good look at these authors and their wonderful books for summer readings for your kids. We appreciate you so much for being a part of our network. You've been with us for about a couple years too. 2020, right?
Correct.
2020?
Correct. Yes,
2020.
I was there in person for your last book event in
Oh,
Southfield.
right. You
Oh,
did.
yeah.
You did set up at our one of our book
Yeah.
fairs. Was it the fall of the African
Yes.
American?
Yes. No, the fall one. The
The
fall
fall
one.
one. Right.
Yeah,
I
I
remember
signed up
you.
to be in the Christmas one too, but then unfortunately I was out of town, so I couldn't make it. But I did want to be part of it. But I do appreciate you and for everything you do, and I
Oh,
enjoyed meeting all the community and the authors at the last event. I was there in person, so
well, we certainly enjoy having you as a part of our network too. We appreciate you and all that you do, and we look forward to seeing more books in the future.
thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. Bye
Bye
now.
bye. All right, that was Priya D. And we have one more candidate. One more candidate, our last but not least, Kinyel Friday. We're going to bring her onto the screen. Let me see if I can give you some more details about her real quick. And let's see, Kinyel Friday. Let's bring her on. Hey, Kinyel. Okay. Oh, okay,
Can you hear
gotcha.
me?
I can hear you. How's it this
Great.
evening?
Good
You
evening,
are
Denise.
our
How are you?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So excited about our children's books, our parents' guide to children's book 2023. I'm really excited to have you guys be a part of our second catalog, our second annual catalog that we produce during the summer months to ensure that parents and educators and librarians connect to local authors right here in Detroit and around the world. So we're excited to bring you on today. You have several books to talk about. I think I have a couple we're going to put on the screen, but I'd like to give you guys a little bit background about Kinyel. She is the author of children's books, earned a BA in psychology and a master's in social work, and in English with a specialty in creative writing. She began her career as a social worker and later accomplished her dream of becoming a published author. Kinyori Books LLC is her self-publishing company that produces books and other products to empower Black families. Wow, powerful, powerful.
Thank you.
Now, you started writing when? What year?
Uh, a long time. I've been writing since I was little. I started writing short stories. Then I went to poetry in high school. Then I went back to short stories. I went to blogs. Um, and then the children's books, and now back to short stories and novels.
Huh.
So I've been writing for a while.
Let's jump into the summer books then. Let's go to the next screen.
Okay.
Not that one yet. Let's talk about
I Am My Hair.
I Am My Hair. Tell
All
us about
right.
this, and it has a accompanying activity book as well.
Yes. So I Am My Hair was my my first book baby, the first one I published. I published I Am My Hair in 2020. And as you already mentioned, Janice, in my bio, my lifelong goal was to publish. And so I actually wrote I Am My Hair years ago. And it wasn't until 2019 that I decided, you know what, I'm going to just go ahead and put it out into the world. And so I started through the publishing process in 2019. And then April 30th of 2020, which is actually it was my grandmother's birthday. And so as you can see, 3 years later, it came out. I Am My Hair is basically a story about bullying. It's about basically loving yourself. So this was the first book in a 6-book self-esteem series called Believe in Me. And I Am My Hair is about a girl named Tanya. It's her first day of school. So she, one of the other girls bullies her in class. So she tries to figure out, why am I so different? And her parents help her to feel good about herself. So they point out different attributes about her that are good about her. So she feels good. So it's all about self-esteem and loving yourself.
Wonderful. Okay, so that's the book, and it's for the 4 to 8 year olds. Can it stretch across the 4 to 8?
Yes.
And then, so that's the book, and it's how many pages is the book?
It's over 20 pages.
Okay.
And then the coloring book also goes along with the picture book because it has pictures that come right from the book. I've got coloring sheets.
Yeah, show us a couple pages. I'm gonna put you up close.
Okay. Coloring sheets of the positive affirmations that come straight from the book.
Oh, wonderful.
So a lot of pages come straight from the book. That's why I say that they definitely accompany each other. And then, there are other ones in here, other coloring pages. And then you get to meet the other character who is in the Swim Like the Fishes book,
right,
which is Charles, Tanya's brother.
And there's the Fishes book. Okay.
Yes, there's Charles.
Oh, so that's Charles. I want to go
Yes.
back to her real quick and stress how important our hair means to us. Okay. That's a really important book today. I mean, it was actually a very important book yesterday, like
Yes.
way back. Discuss how important it is to be comfortable and to love your hair, no matter if it's straight or woolly, like 4C, like mine. So, and it's funny because I deal with it every morning, and I have to keep it shaped because it's like wool. But I it took me a long time to love it. Now at this age, you can't tell me anything about my hair. Back in the day, I couldn't cope with it because we had those days when we were in the kitchen getting our hair pressed. Today, natural is so important, and it's
Yes.
good to emphasize and amplify. It's okay to love your hair. I love this. Now we're going to talk about her brother.
Okay. So Swim Like the Fishes. This is all about first experience and Charles's first experience swimming. And so just like Tanya is important to love yourself and love who you are, Charles is his first experience learning how to swim. And so this is so important, especially in the Black community, to learn how to swim.
Absolutely.
And especially early.
Absolutely.
So that's basically where this book comes from. Charles is learning how to swim. He has a little accident, a little setback in the pool. And so he's trying to learn how to persevere and make it through to learn how to actually swim. So on the left here is the picture book. And on the right is the activity book. And just like before, there are some pictures that are are in both the book and the activity book. But
Okay.
here we've got some writing pages, we got word searches, mazes, coloring sheets. So a lot of different activities to help young scholars learn how to not like things about swimming. You can also practice writing, coloring, math. All of that is included in the activity book.
So if you don't mind, bring that close to the screen again so we can see some of the pages, so the parents and the educators can see some of the pages in the activity
Yes.
book. Okay, great. So they
So
can draw
it's
their own.
writing.
Oh,
Yep,
there you
that's
go.
the writing page. You got the maze and word search.
Great summer
Um,
books.
like a look and find. And then there's also in the back the answer key.
Great. I love how you guys, most of you today, have the activity part in the book because it keeps the brain stimulated, over the
Absolutely.
summer months, just to keep it active and that mystery, search and find kind of, the puzzles. I
Yeah,
remember doing that as a kid, and I don't want
me
kids to
too.
lose that component because of the tabloids and not tabloids, the tablets and the
Social
iPhones,
media
and the social
mhm.
media. I don't want them, to lose the aspect. That's why we decided to come out with this catalog for Michigan, all over the country mainly, but we're Detroit Book City, so we're focused on our local authors and just some of the things that you guys have published to help them stay on track during the summer months. So
Mhm.
that's exciting. Now I'm gonna bring up another book that you two books. Let's talk
Okay.
about these two books because I know you have a whole collection of them. So this is Kinyel Friday. If you're just tuning in, she is the author from Detroit, and she has her books on the market. She's been at several of our book fairs. I think she's been with us since 2019.
2020.
2020. A lot of new people from
Yes.
2020. So, and she does well at our book fairs with her title. So let's talk about these two books because Not My Lisa is one of your most recent ones, right?
Yes, that is my most recent one, Not My Lisa. I'll talk briefly about Troubled Minds and then I'll get back to Not My Lisa. Troubled Minds was actually my first short story that I published last year. I posted it for free. I don't think it's still up yet, but just to give you a little bit of background, Troubled Minds was a story that I actually wrote years ago in one of my creative writing classes. So I came up, I love fiction writing. I love writing about families. This one is a little bit different for me. So I really wanted to push this one out first. But it's actually about a preacher and a cop that are, they come into some issues and he's Harrison, the main character, runs into an issue and he tries to go to the church with it and try to go to the church and try to figure some things out, but it doesn't quite work. So Troubled Minds, that's where the title comes from. Is different because it's different to me because it's more of like mystery kind of thing.
What
And
age
that
range?
adult.
Adult. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, I
Yep.
thought that was a high school book. That's why I included it with
No.
this. So it's an adult book. So of adults, if you're looking for a new book, there's one called Troubled Minds. I thought it was a teen book. I apologize.
No,
Okay, so
no
that's good.
worries, no
At least you're
worries.
letting them know that there's something for you guys as well. So
Yes, and so actually, I'm currently working on a novel that is also for adults. Um, Hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers that will come out later this year. But that's something that's still in the works. But that will
okay.
also be for adults. So children's. So Not My Lisa is the
Children.
third book. Not My Lisa is the third book in the Believe in Me series, which is again about Tanya. It
Okay.
focuses on Tanya, who's on the right in this picture, and her friend Lisa. So she finds out her friend Lisa is moving away, and so they're trying to figure out how to cope. So this book is all about coping, problem solving, and friendship.
Gotcha. And that's for what age range?
This is 4 to 7.
4 to 7. Okay, so most of your books are for early elementary children.
Yes.
And they all pretty much talk about self-esteem, friendship, relationships, and the activity books are they amplify the main books with pictures and things that they can do to keep their brain stimulated, keep their mind focused. I like how your books have certain words in them, like words that could be daily affirmations,
Yes.
right? So this is great.
Thank
Best
you.
books for young readers. I have to keep saying that. We have it right here, Detroit Book City's Parents Guide to Children's Books, Summer 2023. If you're just tuning in, we are meeting with Kinyel Friday, and she is the author of how many children books total?
6. That includes the activity and the coloring books.
Wonderful. Great. So this is how you can reach her. At the bottom, you'll see her website. Be sure to check her out, or you can open up our flip catalog and see more of her titles and get a link to her website to buy her books. Well, thank you so much for sharing your book with us this evening. We have about 2 minutes left. Is there anything you'd like to share with parents in terms of how to get their kids motivated this summer, to keep them engaged? This is Children's Book Week. We're excited to kick off the season, to get parents a little roused up and into planning how they're going to incorporate reading in all these activities this summer. It could be in the car. It could be,
That's
I don't
what I
know.
was about to say.
Yeah.
In the car, have a book. Go to the library. Go to the bookstore. Those were some of my favorite things I used to do as a kid.
Mine too.
Yeah. And those activity books, when instead of being on the computer, take a break, do an activity book, take a 10-15 minute break, do some reading, even do some reading right before you go to bed. But just make sure you continue to read and find some books that your scholar is interested in. What are some things that they're interested, or is it what topics are they interested in?
Yeah,
Find
their
some
passion,
books.
right?
Yeah,
It could be skating, it could be sports, it could be hair. I mean, and you can find those at Detroit Book City. We highly encourage during this call that you look through our catalog and shop with our independent authors that we have featured here. But outside of that, if you want to continue to build, come over to Detroit Book City, because we have a ton of children books for infant, toddler through high school. And they're from, we have 4 to 6-year-old chapter books and 6 to 8-year-old chapter books. So we got the early little bitty kids that's into, little paragraphs with the picture. So yeah, the whole goal is to just make sure, like George the Fourth said, they are reading for 20 minutes a day. I think that's so important. And if the kid, they just don't like reading and they don't have a love for it yet, make it 10 minutes a day and read with them, because the parents encourages, you're the role model. You're the main reason that they will, pick up a book and read. Let them pick out their own books. That's another tip. Don't pick them out, bring them out. Let them look at the catalog, open it up on your phone and say, okay, which one of these books do you want? Let them flip the pages, since they're so techie. Let them flip the pages of the catalog and find the books that they want, because sometimes the cover will sell them, and as long as it's in their age range, they're going to adapt and learn something new, right? It may be something that they never thought of,
Take that 20 minutes and read with them. Have your own book there and read side by side, if that helps.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you so much, first of all, for being part of our network, being a part of our summer catalog, the second year in a row. And I'm sure you're going to be at our Juneteenth, scheduled for June 17th.
I will be there.
At the Historic People's Community Church on Woodward at Pingree in the New Center kind of area. So it's going to be outside. It's a tent event. We invite you guys to come out. Go to our website, DetroitBookCity.com, and they'll have all the information for you. Well, Kinyel, we're not going to hold you up any longer. It looked like we met our deadline tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of this programming.
Thank you so much, Denise, for having me. I appreciate you and everything that you do for the community.
Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Have a good evening. All right, peoples. That's it. We're out. We wanted to make sure that we connect you guys to at least 6 people that are featured in our catalog this year. You haven't seen the covers? Here are the covers to the book. the online book, it is an electronic catalog, a digital catalog, whichever way they're, whatever generation you're from. Most people say digital. It has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 13 authors in it so far. If you are an independent author and you would like to get in, we have extended the date till May 15th. We can still get you inside the catalog, which we will be disseminating across the country, especially the local areas, the educators, the literary agents, the librarians, parents, literacy advocates, and just people who want to connect to local independent authors and read their books to the kids this summer, whether you're at camp, whether you're at summer school, even if you're at a sports camp, have a day out of the week where kids get to read under a tree. Heck, invite Detroit Book City out. We'll set up, we call it Book Up Literacy Day. We'll love to come out and read with the kids and set up a table where they can buy books on the spot. So we have that summer program set up. If you're interested, go to our website and look up Book Up at the top tab, click on that and contact us. So thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate your support. There's so many things you could be doing tonight, but you decided to tune in and learn about the independent authors in our network. There's one thing I want to leave with you tonight, and that's the theme for Children's Book Week's theme for 2023 is read books and spark change. I'm going to take you to the last slide here and how you can get a hold of the catalog. Oh, I thought I put it on here. I guess I didn't. Okay. Let's see. Let's take myself back to the front. I did make one slide. I guess it's not on here. Well, you can visit DetroitBookCity.com and you can access the catalog from our website. If you type DetroitBookCity.com/May, MAY -showcase, and you will see all of the independent authors that are featured inside of our summer 2023 catalog. With all being said, you guys have a great evening and namaste.